The way that I look at our nation is that we have way too many problems to be dealing with this political drama right now. And that is one of the reasons why I have been running for president. Unfortunately, because legislation has not been passed and Congress has not done their job, we now have a traitor who is about to enter our highest office again. I'm going to make it clear right now that I do not recognize Donald Trump as President of the United States, nor do I recognize J.D. Vance as Vice President of the United States. We have so many other candidates that are better choices than those two. The reason that we don't see those candidates is because the news media is in the pockets of the Republicans and Democrats. They are paid by them. They are directed by them to cover only those candidates, Democrats and Republicans. This creates an election that is not free or fair. We are not given access to all of the candidates that are available across our nation. Here in Washington State, there was at least 9 candidates on the ballot. The only reason that I knew about any of them is because they were on the ballot. How do we fix this? Because this is not the only election interference that has happened. There is interference on the state level. There is interference on the local level, community level. Some of this interference is foreign nationals, but it's not all of it. We really need to get our act together. We really need to get ourselves in order. I am going to be fighting for the removal of Donald Trump from office immediately, for his disqualifications of the from the Constitution. He should not be allowed to run for office, and there are many of us who feel that way. He's not a good fit for presidency. He's not a good fit for the United States. And there is so much about him that has come to light that we really don't need as in our highest office. We don't need that baggage. We don't need that drama. I'm hoping that things don't go the way that I fear that they will. I'm hoping that we all find some relief, but I don't have any faith that that will happen. One of the things that I would like to address is something that happened here recently. On Halloween night, there was a shooting at our local mall. Our local mall was not the only place hit. There was at least 3 other shootings, attacks, I should say, in the United States on Halloween night. I know one in Florida, one in Colorado, for sure, one here in Washington. People are acting out. These people are not necessarily immigrants, and that is something that Donald Trump likes to falsely state. Not all attacks are made by illegal immigrants. As far as I'm aware, from what I understand, the people who have committed these attacks are American citizens. It's unfortunate that people are jumping to conclusions and they are not researching the facts. They're not confirming the information they're receiving. it's creating a lot of dissent among our populations all across the nation. I am going to be talking a lot more in the future, in future fireside chats about uh, my national recovery plan, the national recovery plan, the national education system, the national healthcare system, and some reforms to our constitution and our laws, including immigration and border security, our military, being able to clean up our environment, reduce CO2 levels. I'm going to be addressing that a lot more detail in the coming weeks. I'm hoping that more people will join my chats while I'm live, so that I can have a little more interaction with the people. However, commenting on these posts are perfectly fine. I do go in and check them, and I will respond occasionally, especially if I think it's something that is really good for our nation to hear, to be discussed, even. I do like to read conversations. It helps me to see how our nation is thinking, what people are saying. So I do encourage interaction on my chats, on my posts. Over the next 4 years, I'm going to be doing my best to host more lives, online meets. Eventually, I'm hoping to be able to host in-person rallies, to be able to meet more people. But honestly, online is fine with me. There's a lot of people who meet me in person in my local area, and that's great. I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy conversing on topics like politics and straightening out our nation, our economy, things that need to happen with our nation in order to straighten it up, in order to end homelessness, to end hunger, to keep companies from price gouging. There's a lot of this that's going to be talked about in my national recovery plan, in the economic section of the national recovery plan, especially. And hopefully you guys will find it agreeable. I'm going off of what we have now. Our Constitution, our technology. I'm going off of what we have now to work with. I'm also implementing strategy for the development of new technologies to assist us in cleaning our environment, to assist us in bettering our healthcare and education system, making sure that we have the ability to be able to buy our basic necessities and have a place to live. I'm going to be talking about all of that. I have spoken about some of it already, including the National Housing Construction Plan. And that's part of the Ending Homelessness program. So I believe that we need to really pay attention to what's going on overall in our nation. I do believe it's also time for the younger generation to really accept responsibility for our nation, because they are the ones who are going to eventually inherit what we have. I don't see why we cannot help make a better future for all of us. It's about choosing to do so. Something that really bothers me about this whole election is that people that I have observed commenting on my posts act like Trump is the most wonderful person on the planet, but yet he has not ended homelessness. He hasn't even begun to end homelessness. He has actually separated families at the border and have orphaned children and put them through a ridiculous amount of trauma and disease, sickness. There's also the need for us to make sure that we protect each other and that we come together as a community. Something I've seen in our nation is that our communities come together in very small ways. Maybe it's upwards of 1,000 people that come together, but it's still a small section of our community. We do this every day in so many different ways, and during my discussions of the National Recovery Plan, I'll be describing more ways than we can imagine that people come together. I'm surprised that coming together like we have ended up with Donald Trump coming back into the presidency. If you are somebody who wants to take care of our nation, who is willing to put in the effort to be a good leader, to be a part of our team, leave a comment. Let me know. I am looking for people to help straighten up this nation in so many different areas. We have a lot to be concerned about, and we have a lot to straighten up. Hopefully Donald Trump won't mess up our nation too much in the next 4 years. But I'm pretty much preparing to clean up the mess that he does make. I believe that's all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.